Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. IELTS, MJ. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the 3 most recent IELTS speaking cue cards that candidates have been receiving in real exams. I'll break down each topic in a simple way and share high-quality sample answers, useful vocabulary, and strategies you can use to boost your score in the speaking test. If you're preparing for IELTS soon, these cue cards are extremely important, so make sure to watch until the end and follow along carefully. Let's get started. Alright, now that you know what to expect in today's lesson, let's jump straight into the first cue card. This is one of the most frequently asked topics in Canada IELTS speaking tests, so pay close attention to the structure and vocabulary I'm about to share. Here is the cue card. Describe a food you tried and found strange. You should say what the food was, when and where you tried it, why you thought it was unusual, and explain how you felt about trying it. In the real exam, you will get 1 minute to think before start speaking, so please use that 1 minute properly. Don't rush to start. Take that minute and organize your answer. Let's see the 9-band answer. One food I tried and found quite strange was fermented soybean curry, which is a traditional dish in some rural areas of my country. I had the chance to try it around a year ago when I traveled to a small village with one of my close friends. His family invited me for lunch, and they prepared several homemade dishes that they were very proud of. Among them, this fermented curry immediately caught my attention because of its unusual look and smell. I thought it was unusual mainly because of its very strong aroma and sticky texture. As soon as the dish was placed on the table, the smells spread around the room, and it was honestly a bit overwhelming for me. The color was darker than I expected, and when I took the first bite, the taste was extremely intense. It was slightly sour, salty, and had a deep flavor that I had never experienced before. I remember feeling a bit unsure about whether I should continue eating it, simply because it was so different from the food I usually enjoy. However, despite finding it strange, I actually appreciated the experience. I felt curious and a little excited because trying something unfamiliar made the moment more meaningful. It also helped me understand how important this dish is to the local community as they prepare it for special guests and family gatherings. Even though it's not something I would eat regularly, I'm genuinely glad I tried it because it gave me a deeper respect for regional traditions and opened my mind to new flavors. Okay, that completes the first cue card. Let's keep the momentum going and move straight to the second cue card. This is another topic that many candidates have reported recently from Australia, so it's definitely worth paying attention to. Let me show you what the next cue card is about. Describe a car journey you remember well. You should say when it happened, where you went, who you were with, and explain why you remember this trip so clearly. Let's see the 9-band answer for the above cue card. One car journey that I remember very clearly happened a couple of years ago during a long weekend holiday. My friends and I decided to go on a road trip to a beautiful hill station that was about 4 hours away from the city. We'd been planning this trip for months, so when the day finally arrived, all of us were really excited and full of energy. I went on this journey with 3 of my closest friends, and we traveled in one of my friends' cars. We left early in the morning around 5 a.m. because we wanted to avoid traffic and enjoy the sunrise on the way. The atmosphere inside the car was amazing. We played our favorite songs, had some snacks, and talked about everything from our school memories to our future plans. The cool morning breeze and the empty roads made the journey feel very peaceful. I remember this trip so clearly, mainly because the scenery along the way was absolutely stunning. As we drove up the hills, we could see layers of mountains covered with mist, and the sky slowly turning golden as the sun came up. At several points, we even stopped the car to take pictures and breathe in the fresh air. Another reason this journey stands out is because it was one of the last times all four of us were together before we got busy with work and moved to different places. Overall, this car journey was special because of the beautiful views, the relaxed atmosphere, and the strong bond I shared with my friends. Even today, when I think about it, I feel a sense of happiness and nostalgia. Alright, that brings us to the end of the second cue card. Now let's move on to the third cue card, which is another very common topic in recent IELTS speaking tests. This is from UK Exam. Let me show you what this cue card is about. Describe a comedian you find interesting or admire. You should say who the comedian is, how you came to know about them, what kind of comedy they perform, and explain why you find them funny or entertaining. Let's see the 9-band answer. While you are watching it, please note down new vocabularies and ideas for you to use in the exam. One comedian I find really interesting and admire a lot is Trevor Noah, the South African stand-up comedian and former host of The Daily Show. I first came to know about him a few years ago when one of my friends shared a short clip of his stand-up performance on social media. The way he mixed humor with social observations immediately caught my attention, so I started watching more of his videos online. Trevor Noah mainly performs observational and storytelling comedy. He often talks about his childhood, cultural differences, language, travel experiences, and the funny moments he has encountered while meeting people from different backgrounds. What makes his style unique is the way he uses accents, facial expressions, and timing to make even a simple situation sound incredibly funny. He also includes intelligent humor, which makes the audience think while they laugh. I find him entertaining for several reasons. First, he has a natural charm and confidence on stage, which makes him very enjoyable to watch. Second, he tells stories in a very relatable way, so even if the situation happened in another country, you still feel connected to it. Another thing I admire is that he uses humor to talk about serious topics without making the audience uncomfortable. He balances comedy and meaning perfectly. Overall, I find Trevor Noah funny because of his creativity, his smart observations, and the positive energy he brings to every performance. Great, that wraps up the third cue card. Alright, that brings us to the end of today's session, where we discussed the 4 most recent IELTS speaking cue cards. I hope you found the sample answers and tips useful for your preparation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mr. IELTS MJ for more speaking practice and strategies. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the very best in your IELTS speaking test. See you in the next video.